So we all know that girl who is so much attractive without even wearing any branded clothes, to whom everyone is attracted to irrespective of their gender. Like she's favorite of the girls, she's favorite of the boys. She is so classy. There's something in her aura that attracts everyone towards her. The moment she walks into the room, you know that she is not someone you should mess up with. You know that that girl is so content and so confident in herself that you cannot afford to mess with her. If you want to become that girl, then watch this video till the end, because this is gonna change how you look at womanhood. This is gonna change of how you look at yourself. This video is gonna help you to be that high value woman in your life. First of all, it is not about wearing branded clothes or looking good or being favorite amongst men. This is all about aura, your aura. It is all about being noble. It is about being poised, being assertive in yourself. So this video is gonna help you to shift your mindset and how to be that poised high value woman, so that everyone is attracted towards, who knows what she is doing, who's very content in herself, and who nobody wants to mess with. This video is gonna make you that girl. So watch it till the end. This is something that I have experienced over the past couple of years, and trust me when I say you that when I walk into a room, people listen to me. People give me that attention because I've made my aura in such a way that I make them feel that they need to listen to me. So how have I done that? Let's see in today's video. First thing first, she chooses herself daily. Every day you have to make a choice that is either gonna make you or it's gonna break you. We all have some sort of image in our mind when we think of that high value woman. We all know what her habits are, what she should do. We all will have a different image of that girl. Someone might think that she should dress in a very poised way with some blazers, some belt, long nails done, good jewelry on. The point is, are we ready to show up for that aura of us? If we are that woman, are we ready to show up for ourselves every single day? When I say every single day, I mean it. From the food you eat, from the habits, your gym, your journaling, everything. You have to show up for yourself every single day. Because first thing first, you need to be clear in a sense that you cannot just one day wake up and be like, I'm gonna be that girl. I'm gonna be that magnetic personality from whom everyone's gonna be attracted. That is not a one day show. That is literally a lot of hard work from past couple of months that you're gonna do on yourself. So it is never gonna be like, oh, one day I will wake up and I'll be that personality. You have to choose yourself every single day. You know, a aura of a person comes from a lot of things. How they feel about themselves, physically, emotionally, mentally, in every single way. From the food they eat, to the exercise they do, to the emotional regulation by doing meditation or journaling, or just like being emotionally happy. How happy they are. Do they have gratitude in them? It just something in you sits right when you do all this thing. And I'm saying this from the experience. I have done this and I have not done this. So I know the difference that when you do all this thing, I know that people have said that the taking care of yourself is highly overrated. But trust me, when you actually take care of yourself, something inside you shifts. You know your value then. You know that if everything goes wrong, you're going to take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, physically. Choose yourself every single day, even when there is no one watching you, even when there is no one clapping for you, that well done Simran, you showed up for yourself today. Well done Simran, you did everything for yourself today. You have to show up for yourself. You have to eat right. You have to sleep right. You have to take that good 7 to 8 hours of sleep. You have to do that physical exercise. You have to do everything that your ideal self would do. So please do not lie to yourself. First thing first, just know what your ideal self would do. Secondly, if you know what she would do, then just show up. Show up for yourself every single day. Second point, she invests in her body. So I am a big time frugal, but I love to invest in my body. From the quality food to paying for the gym membership to just taking care of my body. If you know me, you know that I am not a gym person, but I love to move my body. If you don't like gym, there's no issue in that. But you gotta invest in yourself in other ways. Either join a sports, do some sort of activity like going for a walk, going for a run, just being active. Let me tell you, this is one thing that I have noticed. Any charismatic personality you will see, they would be playing some game, be it tennis, be it anything. They will play some. Reason because if you will ever pick to learn some sports, trust me, your personality is gonna change. I've heard this somewhere and it makes sense that sports just not teach you how to play a game. It teaches you the way to live life. When you will show up for that sport every single day, that is gonna give you a life lesson. When you are gonna be very tired but still choose to play, that is gonna give you a life lesson. Every single thing in sport sports is gonna teach you something. It is gonna shift your mind completely. So take my word and learn some sports. Even if you are bad at it initially, you're gonna improve. And even if you don't improve, just show up for yourself. Just show up, move your body. You're gonna feel good about yourself that you at least tried. So invest in your body and learn some sports if you can. And if you are not interested in sports, go to gym. Show up for yourself every single day in any form possible. Number third, she is emotionally aware and not reactive. When you meet someone who's very frustrating and you know that this person is being utter nonsense in front of you, trust me, the biggest weapon you have at that point of time is to ignore them silently. If not ignore, give the most calmest reaction ever. Like, you know that that person has gone absolutely rubbish and you just give a very composed reaction, okay? You go like, excuse me, even you and I, we both know that you are wrong at this place and it's okay. I don't care, I don't mind, I'm moving ahead, I have nothing to do with you. That's a very calm, composed reaction that it's okay. You were wrong, I know that. I'm not taking that guilt on myself, but at the same time, I'm not allowing you to repeat the same thing again with me. I'm very emotionally aware. I don't want to yell at you because yelling at you is gonna waste my energy. I am not here to do that. When you're in corporate world, there are sometimes that you don't like someone. That's when you show how emotionally aware you are. If you don't like someone and someone is constantly trying to pinpoint you in a meeting, you don't go and gossip about them behind their back, because that's gonna show that A, you did not had enough of courage to talk to them directly, and B, you are a bad person, you talk about people. What you can instead do is, in the same meeting, be very calm, be very composed, but yet tell them with facts that why you are saying what you are saying, A, and B, you're gonna let them know that what they said was not correct, between a very calm, composed way. That's gonna show how emotionally mature you are, because you're not fighting with someone like cats and dogs. You are instead trying to get to a solution with facts, with figures. This is just corporate example, but even in real world, if something like this happens in the friendship or in your family, you just go on like, this is what I am saying and these are the example which I'm referring to when I say you this. This is what I exactly mean. So don't be angry. This is what I'm saying and this is coming from this past experiences of mine which I had from you. If you feel this is wrong, then we need to come to a conclusion rather than fighting. And that's the way come to a conclusion, and you don't yell. When you speak in this way and when you be very assertive of what you are saying and why you are saying with some facts and figures, trust me, you instantly look so much more confident, you look so much more poised, and people know you know what you're talking about. And this also shows that you don't lose your control even in the worst time, which is very much important. Fourth, she doesn't overshare her plans. Don't overshare everything in your life. Have some plans that's personal to you and work on it. This one is completely personal, but some people like to be silent and some people like to share. According to me, it really depends on whom you are sharing with and what you are sharing. For me, I am very much restricted when I'm at work. No matter how much close friends of mine they are at work, I don't overshare myself. And that's the kind of boundary I like to have at workplace. But when it comes to my very close friends, I like to share some stuff. And when they are distant friend, I don't share it. You know what the best thing to do is? People say that if you don't overshare, you won't come across as friendly at workplace and at other friendship. But that's not the case. You can do the small talk. You can talk something that doesn't affect your personality, that you're not oversharing, but you're still coming across as friendly. For example, I talk about today, I was just talking of how I like certain food, etc, etc. I'm not oversharing. I'm okay with telling my food preferences to them, but at the same time, I'm coming across as friendly. I'm not oversharing. I'm not talking about my plans. I'm not talking about my bigger picture or goals, etc, or my relationship status or anything like that. I'm just trying to be a bit friendly. So that's how you avoid oversharing, by sharing something that doesn't mean anything to you at all. If you're an oversharer, try to talk for the stuff that doesn't matter to you at all, and you will be fine then. She treats her failure as a feedback and not a failure. If you will be constantly winning in your life, you're doing something wrong. You're not gonna break. Some of the things that I have learned in my life have come from my biggest failure. I still remember when I won, I got a lot of joy and I forgot that joy after 5 days. But when I failed, I cried for 10 days. And after that 10 days, that failure gave me so much power to accept that situation, to come up from that situation. And when I came up, I tried, I gave my best again. Actually, when I failed, initially I thought that everything's over, nothing's gonna work, but then I was like, remind yourself what you are, Simran. So I exactly did that. I reminded myself, okay Simran, you're more than this, and I started giving my best. When you succeed after failing, that's when you know how powerful you actually were. If I would have succeeded in one go and everything would have worked wonders, I was like, yeah, I can do it. But if I fail and I've succeeded. That's when I know my true power. And I'm not joking. Failure teaches you way more than success ever can. And when you learn the art of reassuring yourself that you're gonna be fine even after a failure, and I'm gonna learn from this, and you do your best. When you know how to pick yourself up from a failure, that's the art. The day that's done, that's it. Nobody can ever stop you in your life then. Because even your failure could not stop you. That means nobody can ever stop you. Trust me on this. 6. She respects her time like it's her money. No matter what you are, you should respect your time. And if you won't respect your time, others won't. And if you won't respect others' time, others won't as well. Why respecting time is important? Because it just says a lot about your personality. Just imagine you asked your friend to be on a call at 4 o'clock and you were there waiting at 4. From 4 to 5, you waited for them. You didn't got a call. Just imagine how devastated you will feel about that friend. You will be like, I don't even want to talk to her anymore. That's the kind of feeling that people get when you don't respect their time. And why respecting your time is important. I just know how important it is for me to make this video rather than scrolling on Instagram. I just know how important it is for me to journal rather than scrolling Instagram. I just know how important for me it is to be in the gym rather than watching a movie at home. I just know my preferences. I know my time is so much more important than watching a movie, hanging out, watching some stupid reels which does not even serve my purpose. For example, if you were paid 1 lakh for your 1 hour, would you still be sitting there and watching your reel, watching a movie? No, right? You would be working on yourself. You won't do all this shit if you were getting paid 1 lakh an hour. So why are you doing that if your time is free? Just imagine that you are using that time to work on yourself. Either you are working on a side hustle, you are learning a new skill, or you are just focusing on your physical fitness, which is gonna pay you in longer run, or you're focusing on your well-being, etc. rather than wasting your time at other places. That is gonna serve you in longer run. Might be a side hustle. If it doesn't pay you, it's gonna teach you a lot of things. So just treat your time like money. Don't waste it looking at some random Instagram reels or YouTube videos. If you're watching something and if you're not absorbing that piece of content, like if I watch something on Instagram and if I'm not absorbing it, I'm not learning something from it, then I rather not watch it. If I'm watching a YouTube video and if I'm not learning something from it, I would rather not watch it. I'm not saying that this is feasible every time, but yes, this is feasible most of the time. You gotta do that. If you waste your time and people around you knows that you waste your time, they're not gonna respect you. Trust me. But if you be there on time every single day and if you constantly work on yourself, people know how important your time is. People then know that they should not mess around with you. They should not mess around with your time. So that's how you increase your value and that's how you value your time. 7. She surrounds herself with the energy that expands her. You should always learn to outgrow people, outgrow habits that doesn't serve you, that doesn't serve your future you or the way that you are envisioning yourself when I say the high value women. Why? Because so many of us cannot grow in life, not because they don't want to, because they don't want to let go of the people. For example, if you have one of those best friends who doesn't want to grow in life and who wants to stop you from growing in life. For example, if you have went to gym and you have this one best friend, you call up and you say like, oh hi, I've been to gym, I woke up at 5 and it was so magical, I love today, I'm full of energy, etc. Okay, and the other person goes like, but you know, right? You know yourself. You're not gonna, it's not feasible for you. You cannot wake up 5 every day. I know you very well. You're not gonna do that. The minute someone does that, you shouldn't talk with them. Trust me. I'm not saying that they are bad, they are not your good friend. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that that kind of energy, it's not gonna let you grow. That's the energy you wanna block. And I'm not saying that just break friendship with them. Period that you're working on yourself, at least for that time, you shouldn't talk with them because those are the people, they are not gonna let you grow. Habits that is not serving you, you should stop those habits. If you are eating at 10 every day, shifting your dinner time from 10 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 6 p.m., even that's a huge change. Initially, you might feel hungry in the night, but later on, you will adjust to that. That's a lifestyle change, to be honest. So outgrowing habit that's not serving you, it is a gem. Just create boundaries. Boundaries amongst people who's not serving you. Boundaries amongst habits that's not serving you, okay? Follow better content. Switch gossiping over with podcast or just follow people on YouTube that's gonna serve you in longer run. I'll tell you what, I was never like this. When I was in my 11th, 12th grade and when I was entering into my college, it was a brief period that I blocked everyone from my life. And when I say blocked, I don't mean block, but I've stopped talking with them, etc. I started reading books. I fell in love with books. And mind you, I was never a reader, I've never read, but that was a period of my life that I've fallen in love with books. I've started reading books. So I made those books my friends. That was a time I was spending on myself, and that's the time my life changed, and I'm not even joking. Ever since that, there's no looking back. So till the time you get that self-confidence and you just be very confident that now nobody can shake me and now nobody can affect my thoughts and decision, till that time you might need to block those people, and after that you're good to go, because you will then know what's good for you and what's bad for you once you become self-sufficient. 8. And this by far is my favorite one. She is soft, but she is not a pushover. You should know how to be a very soft, feminine energy kind of person. Okay, I really appreciate that, and that's great. I was amongst one of those people pleaser, soft person, but I've slowly learned that the more softer you are, people pursue you as a pushover, that they can outshine you, and that's exactly when you have to break that boundary. Okay, for example, at a workplace, if you are just being very kind and nice to everyone, people should not consider that niceness as you are naive and you are foolish. Okay, the minute someone does that, the minute somebody tries to take over your work in a meeting as if you are a pushover, you just break it over there. Whenever something like this happens to you, you have to be very assertive and confident. You have to go like, I think you are mistaken, because this file has been done by me and these are the proof that it was done by me. I understand that this was a mistake, but it would be kindly appreciated if you don't repeat it, because it causes me XYZ trouble. The way you speak that, like, I understand that it was by mistake, but please kindly don't repeat it. You know that it wasn't a mistake, but still the way you handle it with a lot of eliteness and with a lot of like assertiveness, that you know your value and nobody can push you over, that's the confidence I need. Just remember, being kind is not the same as being weak, and as soon as someone thinks that you are someone weak, draw that line. Just make them realize that you are kind and not weak. You don't tolerate nonsense, and you should never tolerate nonsense. When you stand for yourself, never ever expect anyone, I repeat, anyone to stand for you. It should be always you. You should never ever wait for anyone to stand for you. Whenever something bad happens, you should be the first person to take your stand. And that too with a lot of eliteness and poise in you. That tone, it should shift, and the people in the room should know that you are not the person to mess with. And trust me, if you do it once, the other person will know that you are not someone whom they should mess with. Number 9, she gives herself the permission to take up the full space. Now what does this mean? A lot of time we feel that we are too small for this. Okay, whether be it an exam, be it an event, be it at workplace, in a meeting, you just feel like, oh, I don't belong here. This event is too nice for me. Maybe I'm not the best person for this. You should give yourself that permission to take up the space. You are in that event because you are called. You are in that job meeting because you are called. It means you have earned that job title. It means you deserve to be there. It means you know something. It means that you have to do justice for that invitation. Never ever think that you don't belong there. I know imposter syndrome is real, and I know it is easy to convince ourselves that you don't belong there, but trust me, every time that happens, you have to remind yourself that you belong there, and you actually do. I want you to speak your mind. This is what I have learned over the period of time. The moment the meeting is going on, I don't overthink. It's not your job to overthink. Your job is to be confident. Your job is to be in that moment. Just forget everything. Be in that moment. Be very confident about your choices. People are talking about something and you just feel like, oh, you feel like this, but I feel like this and it actually works for me. You should also try. Oh, this works for you. I'll give it a go as well. But how about you try this because it works for me? Be confident in your knowledge and just be very expressive about your opinions, about your thoughts. And when you do that, you are going to be so much more confident in yourself. So just take up that space. Give yourself the permission to speak. Give yourself the permission to be just you and not think about what other people are thinking. Number 10, she makes her feel like life feels like hers. And what do I mean by that? You are not living over here for your parents, for your relationship, or your for friends, what they think, what they don't think, what their likes are, what their dislikes are. You are on this planet for yourself. The day you start living for yourself from head to toe, like the decisions that you make, be so full of yourself that you don't crave to escape from this life. I know one of my friends, she was like, I'm so tired of this life, etc, etc. I was like, okay, what's your routine? What does your life looks like? She's like, I do this, blah blah blah, I go to work. I was like, okay, that's your routine, nice, but what do you do for yourself? What do you do to feel you? What do you do to be your best version? What do you do just to love yourself? Just like, I haven't got an answer to this. It's like, you should find an answer to this, because you are not over here to fulfill your parents' relationship, partner, or friends' needs or likes or dislikes. Don't get me wrong, that's important. But the day that the sole motive of your is to justify other people's likes and dislikes and opinion, that's the time that life gets away from you. But the day you start loving yourself and you just be like, you do what you love, you do what you feel like. You want to do self-care, you want to to read a book, you want to go on a solo trip, you do stuff to make yourself happy. You do stuff and you feel like, okay, life is finally happening. Things I love is falling on place. That's when you won't feel like escaping from life. Make your life feel like yours. To conclude my video, you don't become a high value woman by choosing luxury, by choosing the expensive products, etc. You become a high value woman by choosing yourself every single day. Start admiring yourself, start making your own decisions, start working on yourself, and start making yourself feel confident, feel needed, feel important, and your priority. This should be your priority. Being kind, being assertive where it is needed, being nice, also being nice to yourself. These are the quality of a high value woman. And this is just a mindset shift video. I will soon coming with a very good things that you can do, like the physical things that you can do to be a high value woman. And it's going to be so much more interesting. But today I've spoke for 50 minutes straight, or like more than that. So today I'll cut this video over here. And to me, more than physical shifts and physical changes, these changes are more important. So work on this, and as soon as your mindset shifts, that's when everything is gonna change. I'll see you soon in my next video. Till that time, take care, bye bye, see you. And I hope you have learned a lot, because I have poured my heart and soul in this video, and I feel every woman out there should know this, and they should choose themselves. And if you are interested in looking at my personal life, I share a lot of blogs, etc. I will link my Instagram handle over here as well. Feel free to check out my Insta channel, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Till that time, take care, bye bye.